Hi Denise, how are you? Hello.
Hello, can
Yes,
you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
So, so are you excited for this session?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying our event for this for the second day as well?
Yeah, I've enjoyed what I can tap into, and I'll try to get back to the other ones later that are coming after later today.
Okay. So yes, Denise, thank you so much for joining this event. So before you start your presentation, I would like to introduce to the audience about you. So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, please join me in extending a warm welcome to the extraordinary Denise C. Herndon Harvey, a true icon of inspiration and transformation. Denise is not only a captivating speaker and best-selling author, but also a dedicated transformation coach with a profound passion for sharing the message of God's grace. Through her powerful written works, including the children's book Growing Up Sassafras, Where Is My Daddy, and the multi author bestseller Unlock Your Voice, Denise intricately weaves themes of faith, hope, and family restoration, demonstrating God's unwavering love for all. Her commitment to helping individuals experience transformation, deliverance, and healing by inviting God into their hearts is both profound and uplifting. So, Denny's remarkable journey is underscored by her impressive academic achievements, including a Master of Arts in Human Service Counseling, Family Advocacy, and Public Policy from Liberty University. As a military spouse of nearly 4 decades, Denise embodies resilience and strength, and her unwavering dedication to her husband and family serves as a testament to her character. Her impactful presence extends far beyond the written page as she has graced numerous TV and radio shows, international book fairs, and prestigious publications, leaving an indelible mark wherever she goes. So please join me in giving a heartfelt round of applause to the incredible Denise C. Herndon Harvey. So that's a really great presentation. So you can occupy the stage. Good luck.
Thank you very much, and I'm gonna share my screens. All right, all right. Well, good afternoon to everyone. And again, my name is Denise C. Harvey, and I'm going to speak to you today with what I call pivot in the pause. I want to say I'm very grateful to speak to you today at this important conference, uplifting and supporting women. And she already read a little bit about me, but I also wanted to share a little bit more. Again, I am a military spouse. My husband retired from the U.S. Air Force, and we have been married for 40 years. We have two grown children and six grandchildren, and I worked for the federal government as well as the Department of Defense for almost 34 years. Um, I am a published author. I have education in crisis counseling, Christian counseling, and human service counseling and family advocacy. So let me go ahead and get on with what I'm here to speak to you about today. And this is called pivot and a pause. This is a term that I created after my own experience and after writing my book, Emergence of Me. So I call this a life reset. What is a pivot and what is a pause? A pivot is actually a turn or rotate. It is also the act of turning on a pivot. It means to make a significant change in position, strategy, and process. What is a pause? Well, a pause here is referring to the pauses in our life. And the life and life can be different for everyone. Life pauses, I mean. It can stem from any life situations that came on abruptly or gradually. It can be a knowing, a feeling deep inside of you where you know something is not working and must change. Or it can be the death of a loved family member, which things like that happened in our family. Is tragic. It's a tragic, unexpected event in life, which has now stopped you from moving forward with life as you know it, causing you to retreat. It can be anything. It's how you see it, it's how it affects you, and what it does to you in your life. When life happens and a hard situation abruptly occurs, we have to then figure out the good and the bad and work through it. However, we don't have to remain stuck. We don't have to align our beliefs with those painful and even negative beliefs attempting to keep us in bondage. How do you see yourself? And will you remain or be bold and do something about it? And that's what I was faced with in my life. For me, I had more than one. The first one came about 20 years ago when I became very, very ill and I ended up in ICU. And then at that point, I knew in my life, especially once I got out of the hospital, I knew that things had to change. I didn't really know what to do, but I knew a change was necessary in my life for me to continue on. The second, and this is the second big one. The second really big one was COVID-19. COVID-19 played a huge part, as I know it did for many other people. It did a lot of damage to a lot of families. People lost loved ones, jobs, homes, businesses, and total industries disappeared, gone. How we do business had to change. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what we still see happening today. Can you see how these circumstances, a pivot had to be made whether we liked it or not? What COVID did was make me see just how short life is. I mean, we already know that anyway when we see other things happening in people's lives. How could I remain even one more year feeling the way I did, even sitting at a job that I was unhappy, not being fulfilled, and not fulfilling those things and those desires in my heart? When we were told that we would go back into the office, I literally felt as if depression just came crashing down on me. And I knew this is my point. This is my pivot point. This is my point of change. I either continue walking and doing what I was supposed to do, or I go ahead and step out by faith and just make the change. So next, I want to talk about within the life reset, understanding what I call your MVB. MVP. Mindset, values, and beliefs, because all this ties into how we make the decisions for our life currently and going forward. Mindset, the assumption and expectation you hold about yourself, your life, and the situations around you. Value, now value is a person's principle or standard of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life, the importance, the worth, or unusefulness of something. Belief, something that is accepted, considered to be true, or held as an opinion. We use beliefs to help us understand the world around us. A person's beliefs will guide them in their decision making. It will, in responses to situations, for the good as well as the bad. Now, our mindset. Can that dream live again on the inside of you? I have a question for you, and I would really like you to think about this question. I wish somebody would ask me this question a long time ago, but I want to know who told you. Who told you or made you believe that your time was up? Who told you? Who told you that life as you knew it is finished? Who told you? Who told you that you weren't qualified? Who told you that you're not wanted or too old to do anything? Who told you? Who told you that you can't obtain anything that you desire in your life? Who told you? Who told you that you can't write a book? Who told you that you cannot speak? You can't even pronounce words correctly. So why even try? Let alone who would listen and why? Who told you? Finally, who told you that you must be crazy to leave that so-called good job, and what makes you think you'll succeed anyway? I know I experienced that. Who told you, and why did you believe them? Or is this what you've been telling yourself all along? as an excuse. Now, when we're talking about our MVB, remember mindset, values, and beliefs, I want to hone in right now on mindset and renewing your mind, and also concentrate on the thoughts versus the mouth. And you see here, I have guarding your thoughts, the labels that we make in our mind about certain things and about ourselves, recognizing negative thought points, which when you don't recognize them, that's how they escape. And now they seem real. Spoken words, you're now speaking those things into existence. That's how our words work. Okay. I wish I had gained mindset training years ago. I'm talking not 1, 2 years ago. I'm talking about 20 or 30 years ago, because I see how much different my life could have been a long time before now. How I saw myself, what I believed about who I was, and what I would accomplish would have definitely been different. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. Would I have stayed at that job? Probably not. That's 100 on that one, I can definitely say. However, I did understand that we had to watch our words, especially what came out of our mouth. That knowledge I had. The Bible had a lot to say about the Bible has a lot to say about our words, our mind, and our tongues. The Bible says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. This means you are speaking out of your mouth, speaking out of your soul, which is in your mind, which is your mind, your will, and your emotions. You're speaking those things that seem true, but they can't be trusted. They're coming from emotions. It's also said that life and death is in the power of the tongue. You probably get what I'm saying with that one, so I won't even continue to explain that out even more. But watching our words is for ourselves even more important than for those around us. We hear the negative exit from our mouths to our ears and take root in our thoughts. What happens next is you continue to repeat those negative expressions until they gained a foothold in your soul. And now you believe what was said. If you don't want it, then don't say it, period. That was my lesson. That was my lesson for my family. Now, I want to talk about value and knowing your identity. I'm talking about self-worth, self-perception, and self-care. Self-worth as it relates to perception. How much do you value yourself? Self-perception deals with how we see ourselves. It's the perception of self or thoughts and how that is tied to our behavior. Self-care is pivotal to our life period. We spend so much of our time in our life taking care of others, putting family in situations and work before us as if it's selfish and to be taking care of our temple that God gave us. And it's not selfish, it's absolutely necessary, but it's how we look at it, how we see it. Our recharging, our refocusing, and our realignment are necessary to bring us closer and back to where we should be in the first place. In fact, can you say that it can be selfish for us not to do it, to not recharge, so that we can be a better version of ourselves for ourselves as well as for our families and those others that we situate with? Within these 3 S's are 3 more, and they are still all tied to the mindset, our values, and our beliefs, MBB, and how we walk through life in the life that we've been given. So now I'm going to talk about the action steps with the second 3 S's: stepping in, stepping out, and stepping away. Stepping in, being able and ready to step into the real us, who we've been called and created to be, doing the will of the Father that gave us life, that created us with purpose and gifting. We all have been created with purpose. Do not even believe the lie that you have not been. If you're still here, still waiting, it is still in you and it's still waiting for you to act on it. Stepping out and into what we've been called to do. Step out from the shadows and that thing that keeps getting you stuck or moving backwards instead of forward, and in the real you. Unfortunately, many choose to remain. Let's be real. Remaining can be a lot easier and nowhere near as scary as making a pivot. Fear can do that to you, especially when you've been going through a lot in your family and in your health and in yourself. You must keep moving forward. You must keep moving to what God has really and truly given you to do, because someone out there is in need of your gift and your calling. So why not step into your calling and step out of the fear and do it anyway? Many of us find ourselves immovable when change is necessary, whether it's one we desire or it landed upon us. It's time to get up and make the change. Pivot in the pause of life where you have landed. The older we get, and hey, I get it because right now I'm 60 years old. The older we get, it's easy to look back and begin to regret those things that we wanted to accomplish, but we're too afraid to take the leap. Or is it because we just don't believe in ourselves? Or we don't have support and we believe we need the support from our family. Do you want to write? Were you called to write? Were you called to speak? Were you called to start a business that can be a major blessing in your community? Will you allow the fear to keep you? What is stopping you? This here right here we must figure out, and then it's up to us to either remain or go for what we know that we have on the inside for others. Step away. Stepping away deals with everyone in your life who may not be in your corner. It is absolutely necessary for you to take control of your circumstances and take the necessary steps that are needed in order to go after what your goals and desires are. You need a plan, you need a strategy, and no, you don't need everyone to understand the what, the why, and why do you think you should do this now. You don't need everyone's support to walk out your purpose. You have naysayers in your life. It's up to you to create the distance from the negative mindset and peace stealers. Love them from afar. Love them from afar. I must tell you that everyone you think should be in your corner will not. Everyone that you expect to give you that way to go, girl, and pat on your back will not. And people that believe you have the knowledge and ability to do what you're called to do still may not support you or even show up. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Do you know why? They're not you. They weren't given your purpose. God did not consult them or anyone else on whom He created you to be. However, it is up for you. It is up to you to discover that. You discover it by seeking, asking, spending time in the presence of the Lord, and growing that relationship to hear and to know that you're on the right path, your chosen path. You need to know on the inside that the power is on the inside and that you can do it. Examining our belief system. Who do you believe you are? What is your belief system and how is that working for you? Reflecting on personal belief systems and their influence, and why is your belief system faulty if it is. I use a scripture here in Romans 12:2 because that deals with transforming to the world system and how the world likes to tell us what we should be doing and who we are and what we shouldn't be doing. What about the need for support? Seek out resources that can aid you and help you work on a plan, one that will work for your life when in remaining so that you can become stronger and that the fear that you had keeping you from making your pivot will go away. It's truly time to step out on faith and do what God has placed in our hearts to do. And don't be afraid, but do it by faith. Faith that you are not only called, but already equipped to do the work, the thing that's already burning inside of us. Fear can gird us and it can refuse to let us go. It's not easy. There is much to break off, especially the older that we are, because we've been used to living in a certain pattern and doing things a certain way. But it doesn't mean that that's where we're supposed to stay. And it doesn't mean that that's the right way. Fear is probably the primary brick wall that most of us run into. Who do you believe you are? Understanding the power of beliefs shaping our lives. A lot of times we believe what we do is who we are. You take away what you do and now you don't know who you are. And I can see that happening with a lot of people, especially when you're in a higher profession. And, when you introduce yourself with the job that you do or your career that you do. But is that truly who you are? Do you understand who you are if you don't have that in your life? Do you understand that if you didn't create this, if you didn't do that, are you still the person that God created you to be without that title, over top of your head? Now, are you ready for change? Are you ready for change to come? Begin to renew your mind in the positive truths about who you are and list out your strengths along with at least three things that you're grateful for in your life. And definitely be thankful for it. No matter what we do in life, we have got to always have a grateful heart. Participate in your own rescue. You can do it. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you that you're capable and great to work at it. Are you waiting for permission or the pats on the back? And like I said before, unfortunately, some of these accolades may never come your way. You have to know who you are and that you are already equipped to do the job. Participate in your own rescue. I want to share a story here that for me, it was very profound. A lot of you may have already be aware of this story if you are of faith and you read the Bible, or you may have just heard the story. And I'll explain to you what I mean in a minute. It's coming from Luke 8:43 and 48. And I am not going to read it, the whole thing to you, because I really want to paraphrase this story to you. This woman here, her identity, and this is the only thing that she's called in the Bible for at this point of her life, the woman with the issue of blood. And like I said, I'm going to paraphrase this for you. This woman had a bleeding condition, and she had it for 12 years. Now, here's the scene. She heard about Jesus and that people were getting healed. As he and the disciples walked past, she reached out and touched his hem. She believed so hard that if they got healed, I know I can get healed because I have to get healed. I've been going through this for 12 years. I have no choice but to do this. She touched his garment. When she did that, Jesus stopped and said, "Who touched me?" The disciples with him were looking around like, "What do you mean, who touched you? Jesus, come on, there's people all around and it's the crowd and everyone's bumping into us." And then, they're kind of like, "Really, Jesus, you who touched you with all these people around here?" Jesus said, "No, it was someone that deliberately touched me because I felt the healing power go out from me." The woman with the issue of blood, knowing that her gig was up, dropped to her knees and confessed. She told him she did it. And now she told him that she is healed. And because she had no other choice, she felt that she was at her last straw. Now, this here is a pivotal moment. Listen to this. Well, that already is one too. The healing, along with what he says next to her, he now calls her daughter, not the woman with the issue of blood. He changed her identity to daughter. Your faith has healed you. Go in peace. I hope you get it. Her identity shifted when her belief changed, and she was so desperate to change her life. She was so desperate, she had to make a pivot. She had to step out by faith and just do it. What else did she have to lose? First of all, 12 years. As women, most of us could not last 12 days with her situation, let alone 12 years. Just think about it. Let's be real. She had to be at a point in life where she was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Enough was enough. And she reached out and did with her faith, allowing her faith to guide her and reach out to what she knew she needed in her life. And it worked for her. Now, she had been shackled to the so-called sickness for 12 years. She'd been ostracized, couldn't allow anyone to touch her, and she was considered dirty. Now, there's a show that comes on TV called The Chosen. I don't catch all the episodes, but this one particular one I did catch, and it has to do with the woman with the issue of blood. The part I want to talk about is after her healing and after her transformation, she asked to borrow a knife from one of the disciples. I was a little bit confused at this part here because I'm like, a knife, you just got healed. What do you need a knife for if it's not for food? She took the knife, she ran along the side of a building, and she looked around and she started cutting the garments loose. These are the garments that she had wore that girded her up, that kept her, from any flow, from anything happening to her life. She was now free. She got rid of and loosed those garments that represented all that she had been going through for the 12 years. Oh my gosh, that spoke volumes to me. She physically demonstrated healing by getting rid of the garments that bound her and were a daily remember of that illness, of her identity, of that label that she had been given for 12 years. Some of you, including me, have been wearing the labels of identity that we don't deserve either. She put hers on for 12 years, and we put ours on for 20, 30, 50, 60. You get it? And ushering in the desired change for life may be challenging, but you know it will work. But you gotta be unwilling to try it, to just gotta be willing to try it and not give up. Do it again, do it again. But I want to say again, who told you that you couldn't do it? Try it and allow your faith to operate and speak for you, just as her faith not only spoke for her, but operated in her life. Freedom comes one decision at a time, one decision at a time. Figuring out a plan of action is not the only part you must begin to align your beliefs with. God's truth for necessary transformation and change speaks volume about knowing the truth and the truth making us free. And that's coming out of John 8:32. What is the truth? What is your truth? The truth lies in your belief system. It is also in you to believe who you are, what you can do, and what you've been called and equipped to do. You have been fearfully and wonderfully made. And I have to tell myself that daily. Denise, you have been fearfully and wonderfully made. Walk in it and do not be afraid. You are a conqueror. You are called and equipped, but you must understand that for yourself. It's time to turn around, get up, and do what's in our heart to do. Even afraid, even afraid. Freedom comes one decision at a time. Freedom to live as you and I have been purposed to live and designed to live. Freedom to be happy. There is nothing wrong with being happy with the life, the God-given life that He gave you. And the happiness will come when we are walking in our true purpose, not just going day by day, checking off the boxes. I went to work today. I cooked the dinner. I cleaned the house. Checking off the boxes, but truly living a life on purpose. Do not be afraid to make the pivot. It is necessary. It is necessary for us all. It's already your season, it's already your time, and it's already here. Speak from the place on the inside of you confirming it's already here. No more imposter syndrome. Comparison can stop your progress. Just because someone stepped out 5 years ago and you have not, does not mean that you've lost anything. Your race is your race. Their race is their race. I know I've done it and so many others have too, but we gotta stop looking at other people like they're our competition. We're our own competition. If you begin to look at the success and accomplishments and at the same time, you now believe that you are so much more behind, oh my gosh, that's what we don't want. I can't compare to you. You can't compare to me. So we have to make sure that we're running our own race at all times. The freedom to change mindsets, the negative thoughts that will keep you right where you are. You have to believe in yourself and trust that you can do it and achieve. God will put in your heart to achieve when you do the work and trust the process. For me, from the beginning of this year, I've been asking God for His perfect will for my life. All that He has already ordained for me and equipped me to do, for Denise, before the foundation of the earth. I want all He has for me to do and accomplish, and I want to know what it is. He's put it in me, and I'm staying in my own lane. No more imposter syndrome, no more comparison. Let the change begin, and let it begin with all of us. All of us. It's necessary. Empowering women. Key point number 1, life happens, whether by choice or by force, yet we still have a choice. Key point number 2, in the storms of life, turn it around for your good and trust God as He works it out for your favor. Key point number 3, get your strategy, get your plan of action, figure it out, get a coach, get help, get someone who's going to help you work through it. If that's what you need, live again, no more going backwards. Move forward and live the life that you've been called to live. No fear, and I have an acronym for that. It's called FOG, Focus on God. And that means that when you're in a fog, You can only see right in front of you. You can't see to the left, you can't see to the right, and you cannot even use your high beams. When we keep God and our focus right in front of you, now we're on the right path. Fog, focus on God. Then it's time to turn it around. Get up and do what is on your heart to do. Trust me, age has nothing to do with it. I already slipped out what my age was. Let's look at getting unstuck in life. It's your time to no longer pause, but to get up and pivot. Realigned focus. What you focus on longest becomes strongest in your life, in your head, in your thoughts, and you produce it before your eyes. Seek time with the word and allow your steps to be ordered by the Lord. Realign purpose, realign mindset, realign faith, and realign the focus. Again, I am Denise C. Herndon Harvey, and I want to thank you. I have a program called Emerge and Restore Coaching. It is a 90-day transformational right now program. And if you think that you want someone to help you with that plan, with that strategy, with that purpose, with the accountability, with the positive environment, definitely reach out. Thank you so very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Denise. It was a wonderful presentation. I love the PPT, the way you articulated everything.
Thank
So
you.
we have some questions from the audience. Meanwhile, you can post your contact card in the chat so that people will reach out to you.
I sure will. I sure will.
The question here is, how do you plan to stay adaptable, and responsive as the situation evolves?
I stay adaptable and responsible by my faith. I literally try my best to always seek first what I need to be doing. There's times we have to change. And like I said, that's what a pivot is. A pivot is making a change. There's things that we continue to do for life thinking that this is the course that we've been on. So obviously this is what is meant for me to do. But you know what? You got to be open for a pivot. I think that if you're not open to the change, that means you're not adaptable. It can keep you stuck. It can bring on depression. It can get you, oh my gosh, there's nothing else for me to do. My life is over. I'll just go ahead and sit in this chair because after all, what else am I going to do? And so when we keep an open mind, keep a positive mind, focus on what we're supposed to be doing and who we are and who we've been created to do and moving forward, not giving up, that's what we have to do. And that's what I try to do for my life. Now, did I always try to do it? No, because I was always looking at our family situation. And I said my husband was in the military. So therefore, there's things that happen with that as far as being world situations, deployments. Now, he's gone and I still have to take care of the kids. I still have to do the homework, the soccer, the baseball, the whatever else is coming up, and also go to a job and also keep a smile on my face as if everything is okay to not worry them. So that right there for me was a whole change. And that's when I said I wasn't always doing the self-care. I wasn't always thinking about who I am and what I should be doing, as opposed to I'm just mom and I'm just a wife. And that's how I was looking at life. I'm getting it done. I'm making sure they're taken care of. I'm making sure I'm checking the boxes. All right. I was a box checker.
Yeah, that absolutely answers our question. Thank you so much, Denise, for your wonderful presentation. I hope you
Thank you.
enjoyed the platform and also enjoyed presenting at Win Ideas Pro Summit's Virtual Summit 2024 on the International Women's Week. We wish you
Thank
all the
you.
very best, and please continue to join the other sessions as well. Thank you.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you.
yes, our next speaker coming up is Valerie Wesson. Can we please join into that session, please? Thank you.